Hi everybody, this is Dimic Robertson. I am one of the co-founders of a company by the name of Custom Insured. Basically what we are is a multimedia platform that's built around the concept of kind of educating people about health insurance, how it works, what it means. And also we really kind of specialize in creating customized health insurance packages for individuals, small businesses, and families. You can see my contact info there, my phone number, and my email, just kind of for your future reference as you might need it going forward. Excuse me. So today, really what the idea is that we want to kind of go over a little bit about what your actual health insurance options are. A lot of people, it's really kind of the way we came about setting this company up is we've both been in the health insurance industry for several years, and what we've kind of encountered is a lot of people that have to buy their own health insurance are really kind of unhappy either with the perceived options they have, or just a lot of uncertainty, really kind of a lot of questions out there and a lot of frustration. So what we want to do is just kind of put together a platform that will run through all the options that people have, just to kind of consolidate all that information in one place and kind of give you the guidance you need to get your coverage set up going forward. So with the three options out there, broadly speaking, there are Obamacare policies, ACA, or Affordable Care Act, as one option, and then as a second option there's the private coverage, and then a third option is what we call a hybrid. And really what that is it's kind of a combination of coverages. We take everything on a case-by-case basis. So maybe there's a scenario where someone has a very limited budget, so they need kind of the best patchwork they can get, so to speak, or maybe somebody wants actually ultra comprehensive coverage. They want home rehab and they want disability and life insurance built in. So really the idea with a hybrid is that we would kind of customize the solution based on the individual or the situation. So I'm going to dig in a little bit here on pros and cons with each of these. With the Affordable Care Act or Obamacare, some pretty good pros on that. First of all, anyone qualifies for those policies, so there's no underwriting. They cannot reject people for pre-existing issues. They can't charge you more for pre-existing issues. So it's actually been very good for those, small segment of society that fits in that category that could not get coverage before or limited coverage before. Also with the Obamacare, if your income is low enough, you can actually get a subsidy. So the government would pay a portion, if not the vast majority or all of your premium. And also, many times they may pay your deductible for you as well. Now, in terms of the cons, there are several of them that kind of stack up when you are talking about Obamacare policies. One of them being, we're 2018, Central Texas. Really, the only options left are HMOs. For those that don't know, an HMO, that's really just kind of a more restricted network option. So in other words, the insurance companies have limited, what doctors, facilities, and providers that you're able to go to. So they really don't kind of give you a lot of input on that. They just tell you, hey, here's where you can go, and then it's up to you from there. Another really common element with these policies are the large deductibles. Initially, they were only, maybe $2,000, $3,000 deductibles, but as of now, again, 2018, those have creeped up about $7,000 for the average deductible. So that's what people are having to pay out of pocket, now on top of their premiums, but that's what they're having to pay out of pocket before they actually get any real insurance coverage. Significant premium increases year in and year out. This is probably the number one issue we encounter speaking with people. These policies have gone up on average about 30% a year consistently, and it's forcing people to, kind of take make or break choices, or at a minimum having to revisit this coverage every single year, and more than likely set up a new policy. So just something you have to start dealing with on a year in and year out basis. And then also to top that off, you have kind of a limited enrollment window with these policies. They've narrowed it down. You have 6 weeks basically, so the month of November and the first 2 weeks of December to be able to make any changes, roll over to a new policy, anything like that. Beyond that, the rest of the year, unless you qualify for a special circumstance, you're stuck with the policy that you have. Next up on the private, so this is altogether different than Obamacare policies with the private. Those, some pretty strong pros. You have low deductible, or typically a no deductible policy. So in other words, when you go into the doctor, the coverage actually kicks in right off the bat. Unrestricted network, so it is actually a true PPO. What that means ultimately is that you can go anywhere you want. If you have a personal doctor you want to, stick with, lots of families, the kids are raised with a certain doctor, they want to keep that doctor, or for that matter, God forbid something significant happens, cancer or something like that, if you want to have the choice to go to MD Anderson or Mayo Clinic, you can actually do that. So with private PPO coverage, there's actually no limitations on where you are able to go. Also, another big pro with these, they have very stable premiums year in and year out. And that's because they do underwrite on these policies, unlike the Obamacare policies where anyone qualifies. With private, the vast majority of people do qualify. However, if someone has, significant health issues, diabetes and high blood pressure, something like that, maybe the options they have are a little more limited, or if nothing else, they'll be rated a little higher, so they would actually pay more policy for policy than someone that was perfect health, so to speak. So that allows the insurer to basically control the cost because they know who's coming in. And contrast that with an Obamacare type policy. That's why these premiums are jumping every year, is because companies don't really know who they're getting, and they're getting flooded with a lot of people that have a lot of health issues, or a lot more people than they expected, so they're having to raise these premiums to counterbalance that. As far as private, with the cons, really they just kind of tags on to what I just mentioned, is if you do have serious health issues, the private may be a little bit more limited as far as what your coverage would be. Or, if you have slight health issues, maybe you pay a 10% premium over someone that has no health issues, something like that. The hybrid, with that, really the pros, and not so much cons in the way, in the grand scheme, but pros, just, as I kind of mentioned earlier, it gives you a little bit more flexibility for people that have special needs or special requirements, or, they have a particular package of coverage in mind. Now on the private, so this is really kind of where most people end up going as far as the coverage. And really this is kind of intended to show you a little bit about how the private coverage comes together, because again, it is very different than Obamacare or ACA policies. So really what happens in this scenario is you build out a package of policies, and the idea is that they intermingle and basically create a mesh where they come together and give you comprehensive coverage. So you build out catastrophic coverage with outpatient coverage with hospital, and then the way everything comes together, it gives you very comprehensive and broad-based coverage. And it also allows for that customization. So if you want to add dental and vision coverage, or if you like home rehab, things like that, you can actually adjust your coverage accordingly, actually anytime you want. That's another plus here with a private, is you have no enrollment period, so you can change your coverage anytime. This one here, it kind of shows a little bit about, digging down from that last slide, just really how the coverages come together. So the idea is that you have kind of the broad-based umbrella to cover your big issues, something catastrophic health-wise, or a significant accident. You have a catastrophic coverage that covers you there. And then under that, you have, you see there on the left side, hospitalization and surgery. This is kind of your surprise surgeries. You know, maybe you have a burst appendix or something like that. So you have the coverage for that surgery. You know, if you're laid up in the hospital, so forth. On the other side, you can see outpatient. You know, these are going to be your voluntary doctor visits or specialists, things like that. So obviously giving you coverage for those things as well. And then even within the outpatient below, you can see, you know, lab tests, CAT scans. You do have 4 outpatient visits a year. And then you also have the preventative measures there, pap smears, mammograms, colonoscopy. And of course, prescription drugs, you know, those come up from time to time. Either, you know, you just get a prescription, or some people have ongoing prescriptions. In the top right there, you know, you can kind of see just a further highlight of the private coverage, just a recap of the nationwide PPO networks, go anywhere, first dollar coverage, so you don't have big deductibles to fulfill. And really, you know, what ultimately kind of comes down to for many people is these policies tend to be about 30% less than an Obamacare policy or an HMO, typical HMO policy. So with the other benefits, you actually have much lower premiums as well. This here, it kind of shows a little bit about how we build out our quote system, just because, again, we do take every situation as a case by case. So the idea is we want to sit down with someone, find out, you know, kind of what they need, what their issues are, if they have special requests, or, you know, they're just kind of looking for a standard setup. So here you can see kind of a bare essentials scenario. Here's a hybrid that I've referenced previously. So it gives you broad-based coverage for, you know, outpatient, so forth. You know, something like this type of setup would have a little bit more of network limitations than, say, a standard or premium package, and then maybe some limited or limitations for pre-existing issues, things like that. Standard package. This is kind of what the average person would set up, so to speak. So here you can see, you know, comprehensive coverage for all your basics, the unlimited nationwide PPO, allowing you any doctor, facility, hospital, $0 deductible, and then with the standard setup, you're going to have probably about a $40 copay for an average doctor visit. And then a premium, again, this would be kind of a hybrid scenario where we're building out a you know, supersized package, so to speak. So you kind of build off the standard as your basic, and then you know, in a premium plan, you know, take it down to where you have $0 copay for doctor visits, add on dental and vision, home rehab coverage as well. So just different options that people can kind of look at and put together. Here, you know, this kind of goes back to where I started. You know, our overall goal is just to kind of provide a multimedia platform for people to be able to find the information they need when it comes to health insurance. You know, maybe they want to know what their options are. Maybe they just want to understand, you know, some of the terminology, you know, what have you. It's kind of a screenshot here of one of the pages from our website for individuals. You can see there across the top, we have videos, resources, you know, articles we link people to, things like that. We got podcasts that we do, YouTube page, so forth. So, you know, if you want to kind of dig down a little deeper, pop over there, take a look. We're also on Facebook, Health Insurance ATX. Hopefully you can see it highlighted there. That's where we're at. And then beyond that, really just kind of our final contact info with the website, Facebook, and email. You know, like I said, we're out there. You know, we want to kind of be able to help people in any way we can when it comes to health insurance. So if you have some needs, questions, concerns, or, you know, you're wanting to set up coverage or make changes to coverage, you know, feel free to get in touch with us the way that works best for you. Beyond that, you know, I appreciate you taking the time to take some time out to listen to this, and hope you take care. Thank you.